What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Feel, don't think.
Fear is my ally.
The Force will be with you.
We are encouraged to love.
Be mindful of your thoughts.
I will not betray the Republic.
Hey, Your Worship, I'm only trying to help.
Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
I'm not afraid.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
What an odd combination of odors. Smells like a fish died and all the other fish sent flowers.
Pardon me.
So, what can we learn from this audience score and the trash of last night? First of all, Matt Stone and Trey Parker of South Park have always lampooned the left really, really hard. But in their satirizing of Kathleen Kennedy and indirectly Leslie Headland, they've hit the nail on the head the fans have been complaining about. All right, it is not good Star Wars to insist on representation for every nook and cranny, weird social hive that you have on this planet. No, it's not, because then it starts taking precedence over actually telling a story that's interesting. Period. When you've got professional writers, people who've been successful, all right, let's put it this way, kind of like the Taylor Sheridans of the world, saying, this is trash, this is lame, then there you go. Okay, then you've got the issue there. Okay, bad storytelling is bad storytelling. It is not misogynist of me or anybody else to point it out. Okay, the reason, here's the deal. The reason why I call Leslie Headland a liar about her fandom is because she doesn't know anything about Star Wars. In episode 3, I think more than anything else proves that she doesn't. No idea what she's talking about. I'm sure she tried to pry Dave Filoni for ideas. And of course, Pablo Hidalgo probably sat on her lap brushing her hair with his mitts. All right. He doesn't really know a lot about Star Wars. Because when you look at the stuff that happened in The Last Jedi, and yes, he did help write it. I mean, when Rian Johnson spent a year up in San Francisco hanging out with those guys, he was writing the script. Okay, so when you think of the lamest, stupidest shit that you could possibly imagine, Rose Tico's Maoist speech and the sub plot to Nowhere, Canto Bight, the actual existence of Vice Admiral Gender Studies. Okay, that came from Pablo. That was encouraged. Okay, the Holdo maneuver, which is absolute bullshit, which Rogue One basically proved it's bullshit. That came from him. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with pointing out lame, bad storytelling. Okay, there's nothing wrong going, I don't want to spend an hour of my life watching garbage that makes me want to vomit. Okay, this is stuff that I don't need to see. Nobody needs to see. This is just representation and presentism on a grand scale, and no one cares. No one wants to see it. All right. I mean, look at the way politics is happening now. Every day, more and more people are getting fed up with the woke. Okay, every fucking day. And that's not my fault. That's not anybody's fault that doesn't like this shit. All right. You cannot tell me that this is full-blown narcissism on the part of Leslie Headland. Okay. Her friend is even in it. She plays that weird-looking green Jedi. And if you've ever seen the woman's picture in real life, she looks like a robot. She literally looks like what 3PO might look like if he was a woman or a human being. No personality whatsoever. All right. But this is the thing. Kennedy, stupidly, poorly deciding that allowing this crazy, lame woman into the Star Wars family was a good idea. She thought that. You know, I'm like, no, it's not. Let's talk more.
Is there a problem, people?
No problem at all, Mrs. Kennedy.
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Yes, Miss Kennedy, some of the execs are just expressing that maybe...
Well, that maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones! Put a chick in it and make her name it gay! Put a diverse woman in it, make it gay!
But, Mrs. Kennedy, Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby deer, put a chick in it, make her gay!
Linguine and clam sauce.
Excuse me, I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay?
Yes, the chef was a little confused what you meant by that.
It means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking gay!
You'd better put a chick in
and I want it live!
And make it fucking gay as fuck.
This is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that like that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that like when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie, that's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking, do you have all the
sometimes like, well, I like this thing and I don't like that thing, and if you don't like the acolyte, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Like the reality is that Star Wars in and of itself is not just a vast universe full of many different characters, many different eras, but it is always, always, always about the spiritual journey of what it is to become who you are. And that's why I am so overwhelmed and grateful to be here, and beyond overwhelmed and grateful to be allowed as a filmmaker to experience what it is like to actually tactilely make something in this world. That is beyond my wildest dreams, and I can't wait to show you guys more. I wish I could.
Because nerds are gay.
Well, some nerds are very not gay and are very threatened by gay.
Well, that's true. But in my world, nerds are gay. Are you telling me, with a straight face, that C-3PO is straight?
When people watch The Hate You Give, what do you want them to walk away with? Because I know everyone has a slightly different feeling.
Well, I mean, white people crying actually was the goal. It was the goal.
It's really interesting just how close to being accurate the South Park parody of Kathleen Kennedy really is. I mean, they do kind of allow her some adulthood in the end. They also lampoon the fans, and it's not unfair about it. It's not unfair. None of the satire in the South Park episode about Lucasfilm is unfair. Okay. It's not. When I look at the lampoon of the fans, I think about the big channels. And, you know, hopefully people can laugh at themselves. You know, and when Kennedy does come in as herself, she literally is like incompetent. Okay, she literally is like incompetent. And that's the story there. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, that's what they're actually saying. And, you know, I think basically saying the fans are being unfair, no, we're not. Look, if you've ever had to run a company or seen one run, and you've got people who are totally incompetent working for you and they're fucking things up, you have to do something about it. And the fact of the matter is, you know, when we found out that Kennedy had a no fire for incompetency clause, it's like, what? But, you know, they don't have to renew her contract. And the last movie that Lucasfilm made lost, they say, $150 million. I'm going to say right out there, it probably lost $250, $300 million. Because when you look at Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and how much money it actually cost to make, and you look at how much it grossed, and you got to take money away from the gross, and there you go. That's what Disney took home. They took home absolutely nothing. They're in the hole for it. Okay, you add the expenditures from that movie to what was spent on Star Wars films that Kennedy made, and how much they quote unquote net, and it's worse. I would say, you know, 1.3 billion is probably pushing it. All right, but going back to lame. Okay, why is The Acolyte lame? First off, it doesn't have anything to do with Star Wars. I've got a friend who's worried that they're going to go against canon again and have dumbasses, mommy show Darth Plagueis how to make the midichlorians create life. Okay. And it's like, no, you're not going to do it that way. That's not, no. And here's why I think this is such a fuck you to Kennedy in lots of ways. This whole show. When you look at the introduction, Kylo Ren's mask is on it, and it hasn't been on any introduction since Mandalorian Season 3. Jon Favreau's name, Dave Filoni's name are nowhere near it. And as far as we know, Favreau was the one that had to finish this lame piece of shit. Okay? Because they don't want Headland anywhere near it. And when you've got professional filmmakers on boards saying that it's amateurish, not auteurish, you know, it's like, this is crap. And its defenders will defend the crap because it's their religion to defend the crap. You know, they like to say people on this side are cult members. It's like, no. We're holding you responsible for making crap. And that's okay. Okay? It's lame, and it's, to quote Cartman, gay, and no one wants it. All right? It's absolute trash. And it's like, you scratch your chin and go, why are we being forced to have to deal with this? You know, and these people are obviously there to make a point. They don't care about the franchise. Again, I really wish South Park would do a parody on this or a satire on this, because that would be really funny. Because they're not fans. They're lame. They're uninspired. Star Wars is supposed to be inspiring. Instead, I ain't watching that shit. And most people aren't. In fact, when the streaming numbers come out and you look at the subscriber base versus who watched the first 2 episodes and how many didn't watch the third, a lot is going to be learned. And there you go. Anyway, I gotta run. I just wanted to put this out there. This is Steph. I'll see you around the galaxy.